Hi, it is the Human Operating System time. So today I'd like to share with you something extremely critical. And it is on recognize what we are learning and practicing. If we don't recognize what it is, then it is a disaster because we can keep speculate, interpret, and have our own opinion on things that we have no idea what it is. For example, if we never see a smartphone, then we can speculate, we can interpret whatever people said, and we can have our own opinion and so forth, but it really circle around and we don't even know where we are. Okay, it is a major problem in today's study of traditional Chinese martial arts. So our friends in all around the world today have this type of issue of not recognizing what one get into and get into speculation, interpretations, opinions, and so forth. I often get a message from our friend who watch this channel. They will tell me something like this: Hendrik, I watched your channel a year ago, and I thought that you are delusional. But then after I go study different martial art and going through year or months later, I found out what you present is so simple. And it is so clear, and it is what it is, because what I have gone through for years and months, it just go all over the place. Well, the issue again is the recognition. Recognize what it is. My channel or my books is to present what it is so people can recognize what it is. And once you can recognize it, you can develop it. You know, because you know exactly what it is. Now, if we don't recognize it, then we start to have our own opinion, and we heard about this grandmaster say this, that grandmaster say that. And now that it is really chaotic, and we can spend years or decades spinning around, and we still don't know what it is. And that is what suffering is about. That's how difficult thing is about. The real deal is very simple. You recognize what it is, you study, you train with it. And then based on our body, physical, whether we be able to get it or we do not be able to get it, because a lot of things is depend on our physical. Like I'm 60 years old, can I still run like a 20-year-old? Where in the 20-year-old, the maximum heart rate is 220 minus 20, which is maximum heart rate 200. Okay? I'm 60 years old, so 220 minus 60, my maximum heart rate is 160. What can I run with the same with the 20-year-old where they can have a maximum heart rate of 200? Of course it's not. Okay? So don't kid ourselves. And it's this simple. That's why I have a friend who are multi-billionaire who tell me, well, Hendrik, I thought that when you practice Kung Fu, even when you're old and you have all this white hair, you can beat the young person. Well, many senior or older age billionaire is asking me that questions. Because of course we get old, we want to stay young. We are just human. Well, but then that is not looking into the reality. Okay? So, recently I shared with you guys on this thing, on this model, where mapping the heart rate zone with the training, the purpose of training, and what you train in Chinese martial arts or Qigong. It is actually really difficult to be accepted by many old-timers in Asia. When I'm presenting like that, they tell me, Hendrik, are you telling me I'm fake? I said, I'm not telling you are fake or real. I'm telling you that what you practice in this zone, in this heart rate zone or this heart rate zone, go check it and see whether you are there. And some internal art practitioner friend who is in the 70s even write me and saying, you know what, I still can do this kick and this fudging, and thus I can do real fight. I said, no, you can't. And then they say, well, why do you say that? I said, well, very simple. What you train is in the zone 2 and zone 3. While those Xi Xiaodong and company is trained in zone 4 and zone 5. High-speed momentum. You're training fudging, push, and so forth. People training in the momentum, high-speed impulse momentum, continuous. You cannot do it. It's not about you. Train a fake thing. It's like you are trained in a different thing. Like if you want to swim, you get into the water and you swim. Instead of you just go jogging or walking beside the beach and thinking that some days you can swim there or you can swim as well as those who do the ocean surfing, the wave surfing. You cannot do that. So many don't like it. But I just really politely say, we need to understand this. If you want to train those fighting, then change your training. Otherwise, you are not going to get that. Same with the meditation guy, Qigong guy. Okay, and in fact, in a Chinese blog, in the blog of mine, I have a Chinese paper, the article I put out. So if we want to train for fighting, which is you're going to go through the 5 zone as in this picture. Okay, if you really train in so-called internal development, you can go from here up to 5. Then you have to do this. You be able to do this in your heart rate monitoring. You see, this 50%, under 50%, this is a zone 1, this is a resting heart rate down there. You can go up to more than 100% because it's calculating, and then we can going down as like it. Now, if it doesn't going down, there's a trouble there because indications of our body have issue. But one need to have this training if you have a full, complete training or comprehensive training. Now, for many people who just doing so-called internal, actually is practicing sets in the zone 1 and zone 2. Well, this is good for recreations, good for exercising. And it's even good for the heart rate variability because you train in that zone, okay? Zone 1, zone 2. train the sets. But there's a different thing compared with those people who really be able to handle it. See, zone 1 is just drop down to the resting zone for nurture the qi. And then it can go up, and then it can go down, and it can go down. So if we don't have this type of handling, forget about qigong. Because we know that with this kind of training, mean that one be able to handle one's heart rate, meaning that one can actually train to increase or to raise the heart rate variability, be able to coherence the breathing with the heart rate. Okay, well, you can coherence that. So in qigong, you have to rely on your breathing. That's what it is. And then if you say, well, you want to go into the deep meditations, well, this is the 50%. You're just knock the whole thing down and stay here in the resting heart rate zone. If we don't have this, how can we know what are we doing? So we cannot do this type of stuff, train this type of stuff, your fa jing, your push hand, and so forth. And then we got to face the people who be able to do this, go full zone, 5 zone. Okay? And also, this thing is not going to give you the handling of qi, where it can knock down. You see the difference? The one is only here, and this one you can handle the entire thing. Like the meditations or standing qi gong zhan zhuang, it can going down to the resting heart rate, okay, from the 50% down. So this thing is now not at all be able to handle the qi and not be able to handle fighting. And in fact, you look around, most what we talk about, this soft style today, is this type of stuff. When you track their heart rate and see the heart rate variability, how much the heart rate can handle. It's not like the one I show you here that I be able to go up and down as I need, or over here, we could be able to skyrocket up and get it down as we need. So I set up this to present so that we know, we recognize what are we training. We can recognize what type of result, and we can diagnose what are we practice, our body conditions, and only that way we can really get result. Like for example, you practice Xiu Lim Tao. Okay, most people's Xiu Lim Tao is here. Most people's Xiu Lim Tao is here, zone 1, zone 2, if they are very good at it. Now, if Xiu Lim Tao practice for 1 hour, you can guarantee this thing shift up to zone 4. When you get sweating, and then you don't breathe properly, shift to zone 4, okay? Then there's a problem with your body. And if the Xiu Lim Tao not be able to drop the heart rate downward to the resting zone, that means it doesn't have the qi or qi gong and those things. Okay, you can think about anything you want, but still your body is not going to go down there. Your lung and heart is not going to go down there because you do not develop that kung fu. Okay. So if you want to talk about qi, if we couldn't even handle our physical body, couldn't even handle our breathing, heart rate, breathing rhythm, what good is it? It's just something else. It is not what it is. And if we say, well, we want to practice the Xiu Lim Tao for fighting, and you're standing there, you get your heart rate up to the zone 4, you're just standing there and sweating and your body rigid. How is that compared with those MMA people who practice, can get it up, playing high-speed momentum play, and then can get down from zone 5 downwards and keeping up and down dynamically with the whole body moving? So while one standing there practice Xiu Lim Tao, not moving already in the zone 4, well, if they move, then you get the zone 5 and you overload the system, it simply means that it is not an effective and efficient practice. While the MMA guy can go up and come down if they want to cool down. While we standing in the Yiji Kamyongma in a tense out all structure and all holding this and that, practice the Xiu Lim Tao for 1 hour and the whole body actually get into the zone 4 without even we go for momentum. So it's like a car, an engine which is not effective, not efficient. You burn so many gallons, you can only do 2 miles per gallon, and the MMA guy doing what? 22 miles per gallon. How are you going to compete a race with those cars? You can't. Okay. So my channel, my books, is for the recognitions of what it is. That's why it is not about I learned from this grandmaster, that grandmaster, that grandmaster. Well, I can tell you all those things until the end of the day, but I still do not show you so that you can recognize what it is. And if we don't recognize what it is, we invest on it, that means it is wasting time, wasting money, and we don't know what is the outcome. And you can say, well, I do this and then I can beat somebody. Well, who knows what is it? Because we have no idea what is the cause and effect. So, like the Wing Chun matrix, that's for the short strike. We like it or not, that's how the ancients describe the short strike, the Chinese short strike art, Shaolin based. Like it or not, the meditation matrix, that is the recognitions of how you put your body into the state so that you be able to get into the charging state or the recovery state. Once you recognize it, you can use it every day. Now, people who take my class, like the Human Operating System class, which is I taught to a few, from executive of the corporations to you and me who work in a daily job. Once you learn that, in 2-3 days, you're going to use it forever because you recognize what is the state, how to get inside there, you get the training, and you use it. It's that simple. Now, there's one thing which is problem where people took the class and I have to drop them is if they keeping thinking something else where I'm trying to get him to recognize something, what it is. After a while, it will not work out and I have to drop them out. Why? Because if you don't want to listen and follow the directions to recognize what it is, and then so you can have it and you can practice it, instead, you want to go with your thinking, this grandmaster said this, that grandmaster said that, get into the thinking and speculate and resist, not wanting to see, to recognize what it is. How can one learn anything? So there is the issue. I want to help people to learn, but if people sometimes they don't want to learn, and sometimes they don't even realize that they resist learning for some reason. And some will say, well, it's too difficult. Well, what difficult? Reality is not difficult. The difficult is, like I chat with this internal art friends, 70, 60, 70-year-old, after years of or decades of training internal art. Practically, they feel they do not want to see the reality, because if they see the reality, they lost everything, because they are teachers, they are sifus. Well, the thing is reversed. If you see the reality, whatever you practice, mispractice, now become your supporting ammunitions for you to get further. But if we resist, block ourselves out, and do not want to recognize what it is, then for the entire world, we're living in our own fantasy zone. That's a reality. Okay? In the ancient, we always heard about this entering the door, right? Entering the door means the sifu has to give instructions to the student, so the student be able to recognize what is it, and then the sifu have to give a process to the student, so the student be able to follow the process and experience it, and only at that point the student is entering the door. Okay, otherwise one doesn't know what it is. So if you notice my books, be it in the basic Wing Chun art and science, or meditation matrix, or Wing Chun matrix, it always have what it is, how to get there, so that people can follow and see what it is. And same with this video, okay? So all this important, and this heart rate tracker, it is extremely important now, because it will save your time and your investment to know, are you doing the proper thing or not? Okay, so you recognize it, you have the process. If you read my books or in this channel, you recognize what it is, you have the process to develop it, and now you have the modern gadget, the technology, to verify. Like in this, we know which zone we are. We know whether what we practice and what is supposed to be, is it verified? So this is to share with you today. This is very critical stuff, okay? Without knowing what I'm talking about today, is guaranteed to go nowhere, because we really don't know what it is when we don't recognize what it is.